these two guys for 3 years like a dog. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like we all do, right? No personal life, nothing. And in my mind, it was my company. And one day I walk into work, and by the way, I hardly ever saw them because they have 20 million other businesses, right? One day I walk into work and their lawyer comes in and I go, "Ay, Dios mío, did I do something wrong?" You know, we always think we're doing something. And I go, "What, is everything okay?" And he goes, "Yes, today we sold the company for $75 million. They had bought it in bankruptcy for nothing, and they sold it for 70 million 3 years later." And once again, it was another non-moment. I got mad. Not because of the money, because I didn't even know, I didn't even get that quite well. It was more that I thought, this is my baby. They're taking my baby from me. And I called the boss, that first boss that hired me. And I said, "I have to go see you right now." And I went into Manhattan and I went to see him. And I show up at his office and I do everything that everybody tells you never to do. I go, "How could you do it to me? This is my baby." I'm bawling, crying, yelling. "Stop! Young lady, those are my chips. If you think you're so good, go get your own chips." I go, "Viejo odioso, horrible. I can't believe it. This man is so horrible." I go back to my room. I cry it out for like 2 days. And then I said to myself, wait a minute. Why don't I go get my own chips? Let me tell you what that 75 million, let me break it down for you. Remember I said to you kids this morning, math is everything? Let's talk math. In order to sell a company in television for $75 million, that means little old me, working like a dog, went from 0 revenue to I made $7.5 million profit per year. Because companies get sold on a multiple of 10 in broadcasting. So I was making them $7.5 million a year profit, which allowed them to sell the company for $75 million. And I go, "Hija, wake up. You need to do this for yourself." And at that moment, I realized this man did not, he could have been politically correct and said to me, "Yeah, whatever, some BS that they say." Instead, he said, "Go get your own chips." And I said to myself, I am going to go get my own chips. I am never going to work for someone again, even though later on I did, but we'll talk about that. And so I decided to start a business. And I go to all of their friends. Now remember, over a 3-year period, I had been on a lot of events with them. And I love this part because I didn't realize that they were really my mentors, because I never said, "Can you be my mentor?" And they said yes. No. But I would hang out with them in weird places, like in events that they had. I'd stay late, I'd help them clean up, and I'd overhear their conversations. That's the best mentoring you can get. And I meet all of their friends. And so I went to all of their friends and I go, I want to do this business in production and television, Latino programming. And they'd all go, "We don't get it. We really think that Norman and Jerry are like, thank God they got rid of that station because we don't think the Latino thing's going to hit. But we'd like to hire you. You'd be a great employee. I hear you're great." And I'm like, no. And so what did I do? I moved from my $3,000 a month apartment in New York, it's very expensive, to a $300 4th floor walk-up in the East Village above a bar. My poor parents come, and by the way, why did I even know to do that? Because all those times that I'd stay late and talk to those 2 guys, I'd hear them say, "When I was your age," when people brag about "When I was your age, I started a business and the first thing I did was lower my overhead." So I go, I gotta lower my overhead. So when I moved to the East Village, my parents come over to visit me and they're like, "Hija, this is horrible. Why are you living here? Why are you trying to be an empresario? Por favor, go get a job. You're gonna lose your looks. Find a husband, please." All my friends, it wasn't cool to be an entrepreneur then. All my friends are like, "Have you lost your rocker? Like, all these people are offering you jobs. Why don't you just get a job?" I go, no. For 4 years, I went back to being a stringer and doing odd jobs. For 4 years, my business did not make 1 penny. But I did not give up. Why did I not give up? Because another thing I heard that old man say when I'd stay late is, "When I was your age, I started a business." I lowered my overhead, and it took me 10 years. I was broke for 10 years, and then I became a millionaire. So, well, I'm only on year 4. Why doesn't everybody get it? But I did do a few wrong things, and this is what I want to tell you so that you don't have to go through what I went through. In the 4th year, what I realized is I was trying to do everything myself. It's very Latin. Trying to do everything yourself, like you have all the answers. I did not join organizations. I did not come to events like this. I didn't join the Chamber of Commerce. I didn't join an entrepreneurial organization. And in the 4th year, I was so desperate, screaming at God, Dios mío, please, throw me a bone. Show me that I'm in the right path, por favor. And I did get a bone. I got a letter. We didn't get emails back then. We got a letter from a Chamber of Commerce, and I went to an event like this. And I realized, oh my God, my business is a little off. And so what we hear today in technology, I pivoted. I switched my business model a little bit because I realized, oop, I made a few boo-boos here. And after that, within a year, I had my first $1 million contract. And from then it went on. And so I built a business launching channels in Latin America for American companies, HBO, ESPN, Sony, Fox. I launched all those channels in Latin America, lived in Latin America, which was incredible. And then came back and sold the company to the company that ended up buying Telemundo. And then I ran Telemundo. And then I became Tyler Perry. I produced about 700 shows in English and Spanish. So with all that being said, you'll hear more as the day progresses. What have I learned? If I had to do my life over again, what do I wish I knew then that I know now? And I know now, so I can tell you. Number 1 on the list is there is no Prince Charming. And I mean that for the guys as well. Nothing against guys, I love guys. Here's the story. No one is coming to save us. Not men, not women, not a company. We all think, if I graduate and I go work for Google, Google's not your Prince Charming. They're not coming to save you. A boss is not your Prince Charming. Everybody keeps thinking, if I do everything right, the boss is going to give me a raise. No, they have their own problems. Forget it. So you can't depend on other people. The government, the president, no one is coming for us. No one. And if you as young people, and I said this to some of you this morning, I know that when you're young, all you care about is what is that job I'm going to have? What is that person I'm going to hook up with? The hormones are raging. But over time, you're going to realize that the truth is you're on a journey with yourself. It's an internal job of falling in love with yourself. And some of us take a whole lifetime to do it, and some of us figure it out sooner. And thinking that knowing what you're good at, knowing what you're meant to do in this life, what is your purpose, what's your mission, and also how to make money to support it. Because we can't live high in the sky. That is what you have to do. And in order to do it, you first have to really understand no one's coming to save you. And that you don't need it. You can save yourself. The next thing I wish that I knew is that in order to really make it through this journey of life, you have to make fear and failure your best friend. Fear is not real. And when you figure that out, you can deal. It's not a chair. It's not something you can touch. It's a cloud that comes over you, just like when you're on an airplane. And we tend to think, if fear shows up, I'm not supposed to do something. It's the opposite. When you are afraid, you do it anyway. Nothing's gonna happen. Even if you fail. We're so afraid even of failing. We live in a country that in order to win, you must fail, period. Failure is what people do in Silicon Valley. They high-five each other. If you're not failing, you're never going to win. My tape looks really good, right? If I showed you my failure tape, you'd be crying for 3 hours. My failure tape is 3 times long. And that's right. And around the corner from my greatest failures have been my greatest successes. I told you I've worked with 6 billionaires. Are they smarter than any of us? No. They do have some luck, right place, right time. But you know what they've got? The common denominator? They walk through their fear. They do it anyway. So I want you to think, when fear shows up, maybe you need to talk yourself out of it and go, I need to do it anyway. Fear shows up, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. And when you fail, which you will do, like, just decide you're gonna fail 1,000,000 times. My stepson is a skateboarder, and he's like, in order to get one skate that goes well, you gotta like fall 1,000,000 times. Well, you are going to fall 1,000,000 times. Just own it. And when you fall, which you will over and over and over, you get back on the horse. You cry it out. You're gonna cry it out. You're gonna yell. Do whatever you need to do. Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse. And so it has to be part of your life. It has to be your buddies. Fear shows up. Okay, what are you telling me? I need to do something. I'm afraid. I was afraid of heights, and I jumped out of an airplane. Can you imagine that? That was not good. But I'm no longer afraid of heights. So I want you to think of what are those things, because especially those of us, people of color are very fearful. We're raised by fearful people. And we have to think about that, because is that still serving us? The other thing I wish I knew is that to be chosen in life, it's a little bit of a Prince Charming thing. We keep thinking, is somebody gonna see me? To be chosen, you have to choose yourself first, every day. It was interesting when I was talking to the students this morning, I said, ask questions. You have opportunities every day of your life to stand up and declare who you are. Put yourself out there. I'm gonna tell you something. If you do nothing, if you sit home, if you don't raise your hand, if you don't even brag a little bit about who you are, I guarantee you nothing's gonna happen in your life. If you stand up, if you raise your hand, if you show up, 50-50, maybe something happens, maybe something doesn't. But at least you have the possibility. So I want to ask you, how often do you choose yourself? Like those of you that stood up this morning, are you one of those people that I talk to so many people and I say, what do you want to do with your life? I like to cook. I go, well, are you a chef or do you like to cook? Because if you don't tell me you're a chef, I can't cast you in Master Chef. You don't know sometimes when you go through life, people ask you questions and you don't know what their agenda is. Maybe they're the person that's going to put you on the teen version of 60 Minutes. And if you just say, oh, I like to write, instead of I'm a writer, they think, she's not ready. So I want to ask you to think about that. To be chosen, you have to choose yourself first. I also think it's important to say, power is taken, not given. Look at me, but a little crazy, but the 17 magazine thing. Things don't come to us on silver platters. Maybe once or twice in your life you have a stroke of luck. Luck doesn't come in like big doses all the time. Power is taken, not given. If you want something, you need to go hunt for it. You need to go online and research it. I talk to so many Latino kids and I say, do you know that the Hispanic Scholarship Fund exists? A lot of people don't. And I think that when we're going to go to college, we don't research enough what's out there for Latino kids or kids of color. And so we leave things on the table because we're waiting for it to come to us, for somebody to tell us, because that's how our parents operate. This is a country of hunters. People that go for things, people that find out about things, people that beat other people to the punch. And I want you to think about that. I also think you heard me say pain. I believe that in your pain is the answer for what you're supposed to do with your life. I think pain is something that, why would it be given to you if you're not supposed to do something with it? I believe that when I've seen people in this country do extraordinary things and build extraordinary companies, it comes from a place of pain. And instead of sweeping the pain under the rug, instead of medicating yourself out of the pain by drinking or doing drugs or, doing too much of anything, if you just go right into that pain and ask it, what do you want me to do in this lifetime? How can I turn that pain into profit and do good work and help people that need help? I think that's an important question to finding your mission in life. And you heard me say on that show with Barbara Walters, but she didn't like because she buys a lot of shoes. I said, don't buy shoes, buy buildings. Now, what do I mean by that? In my personal life, when I've made money in TV's up and down. Some years you make a lot of money, some years you don't. I did not live beyond my means. I lived below my means, and I bought commercial real estate. Why? Because the old man, can you tell the old man that I didn't like has made a big influence on my life? He was like, when I was your age, I didn't live large, I started making money, and I bought buildings. Do you think my parents told me that? No. All the buildings I own are worth 5 times the money of my TV life. And so this afternoon, or not this afternoon, after this, I'm gonna really show you how to do this. But the idea is that instead of spending money on little things, sometimes people of color, because we feel profiled, because we feel that we can't enter a room, and you know, how many times have I been called the nanny or the maid or the whatever when I walk to places? How many times do black people get profiled? I understand why we sometimes have to show our money walking in the room, but it's not serving us. It's not serving us, because we need to build wealth. We need to think like abundant people that are investing in politicians from our community, that are going to see movies about our own people. I was telling you guys this morning, I'm so proud of African Americans, and we have to learn from that. What happened in the Oscars a year ago, where it was not diverse enough, black people spoke up. And as a result, do you think it's a mistake that the African American movie won the Oscar this year? This is not a country of people that don't speak up. This is a country of the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And we need to learn from our African American brothers and sisters, Latinos. They're ahead of us in this. And it's very important that we all learn from each other and work together, because we're never gonna get anywhere if we don't do that. So in your pain is your brand. And I'm gonna leave you with what I just said. In order for us to get to where we have to go, we have to be brave. We have to be loud. We have to speak up. And I know Latinos, it's not part of our culture, right? Pobrecitos, we can't speak up. But we work hard. But do we really want to go through this life not being seen? Because we act like, and when you don't speak up, it's like you're accepting that what the status quo is that you're okay with it. It's not right. So look at me, that all these things that seem very uncomfortable in my life because I spoke up, the most uncomfortable was with my parents. More than the outside world. The outside world actually reacted well. And so I want you to know your parents, we love our Latino parents. My parents, I love them more than anything in life, but I understand they're doing the best they can. And that's their framework. That's not your framework. The world is your oyster. Latinas are the #1 emerging market in the world. The economy of Latinas in the US is the greatest economy in the world. Latina, African American women, and multicultural women, Asian, Middle Eastern, Indian women together are the #1 consumers in America. No company can exist without us. That is a power. Why are we sitting around not using it? And it's really in your hands to change that for the rest of us. So we're gonna take a little break, but I wanna leave you with a couple of thoughts. Self-made, I hope you understand that self-made, besides the fact that I am self-made and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm very proud to say that, is a mindset. Self-made is a different way of seeing yourself, a different identity. And for me, especially for women, the new ticking clock is to become self-made, to identify yourself that way, because it is going from victim to victim. And we're gonna take a little break, a refreshment break, thanks to Coca-Cola, and we are going to, gotta give them a plug, they're great, and we're going to come back, and I'm gonna show you step by step how to become self-made, so you can all have a rich life in every way. Thank you.